Welcome to part one of I don't know how many videos about my new amp. So this is a Mesa Boogie, built in the US, and the model is Studio Caliber DC2. It's a 22 watt amp, I believe, and this is probably from the 1980s. I can find out later by looking up the serial number. It's a 2-channel amp. It's all valve, all thermionic tube powered, and I bought it second hand. It's obviously old and battered, that's why it was a reasonable price. The speaker cloth has suffered a couple of slashes. The Tolex is alright, it just needs a bit of a clean up with a damp rag, and it does work. I've tested it already. I want an amp to use, but I'm kind of sucked in or down a rabbit hole because it needs a little bit of restoration, and I may want to change the speaker. It doesn't have its original speaker anyway. It has a Marshall by Celestion and a 12-inch speaker, and the tubes, I don't know what condition the tubes are in. That meaning the thermionic valves. In particular, the 2 power amp tubes need replacing, every few years because they wear out. The other ones, the preamp tubes, apparently don't. So we'll start to take a look at it. I will turn it over, lie it down on its face, and we'll see what's going on in the back. Here it is lying on its face on a towel because I need to get inside. There's something at the bottom. It's all unplugged from power, but I'm totally aware that transformers are highly dangerous even long after the power's off, so I'm keeping well away from those. But yeah, I need to get the back off to find out what it is that's stuck in the bottom, and also to investigate what looks like a homemade fan arrangement. So let's do it. I've taken out most of the screws already. That screw is stripped in its wooden thread. Every one of these wood screws seems to be different. It's had obviously quite a long history, this piece of equipment. Of course, it's come all the way from the US. Okay. This should lift off now, I think. Yeah, it does. And there we get a view. I'm going to turn the amp round actually. It's in the worst orientation for viewers here because you can't read anything. And let's get this camera into a better position too. So, it's a Marshall G12 8 ohm speaker, vintage, by Celestion. Celestion International, Vauxhall Road, Ipswich, Suffolk, England. And here is the fan thing. Quite a large fan. It's just been screwed on with a little angle bracket, thin iron angle bracket. And how is it powered? Okay, and it has a wire straight from the fan, a US mains plug on the end. That's a really bad idea. Apart from anything else, it will probably cause loops if you plug it into a different supply than the amp itself, and extra noise, adding to what they call the noise floor of the amp. So I think I'm going to take this fan out straight away. It's obviously not been used for some time anyway, since it's in Norway and our plugs are not like US plugs. So here it comes with one wood screw very long, an unnecessarily long wood screw holding this fan in on its little bracket. Oh, is there a second bracket? There's a second bracket. But now I can lift out this object, this thing. So you're seeing this. This is my first time as well. Let's see what this... Oh! Okay. There's a cable coming from it. I'm a bit scared to touch any of the metal of it, because I don't know what it is. It's on a piece of plywood. I can hear it's got springs inside. Okay, it's a reverb unit. I think what they call a reverb tank. Okay, so it's part of the amp. Or maybe it's a replacement spring reverb unit. I don't know. Yeah, you can hear the springs. I'm going to clean up this filthy vinyl cover before putting it back in. And this fan is going to come out now. So here's the fan. This is also US made. Cycle Ohm fan, Howard Industries, Milford, Illinois. Here the same US state as the reverb tank. 50 Hertz, 12/11 watts, 0.16 to 0.14 amps, impedance protected. I don't know whether this is a suitable cooling fan. It's strange really, isn't it, that the circuit has had all the tubes fastened upside down at the bottom of the circuit board, which means that inevitably the heat will all go into the circuit board, the heat from the valves, the tubes as they call them here. Now I've got a clear view of this speaker. I'm slightly surprised at how enormous the magnet is. I'm not sure what that tells me. I thought that most Celestians, most British speakers in fact, have about 1 3/4 inch size magnet. This is like 6 inches across or something. A bit like an Electro Voice. I don't know much about these Marshalls. I'm going to find out. I'm going to do a Google search. Okay. So that's the end of the first video about this amp. I have some ideas about what I would like to do straight away. I'm wondering about that speaker, and maybe I will just put in a Celestian Greenback, the standard British speaker, or even a Celestian Gold. I'm not sure. Also, I don't know how long that speaker's been in. It may not be run in. They take some hours at quite high volume to kind of loosen up the speaker cone, so that may not have happened yet. So to me, my initial reaction is it doesn't have much bass, not as much bass as it should. Obviously I've never owned a Boogie before, but I have owned valve amps before, an Orange Rocker 30 and a Marshall Bluesbreaker, and they have a lot more bass kick than this does. We'll see. As I say, that's the end of part 1. Thanks for watching.